everyone, how you all doing? So we're 270 days in. Let's talk about that, and then let's talk about the Black Swan. Let's see who comes into the chat first. So 270 days in. 270 comes to a bolt of lightning reversal, a bolt of lightning time machine. Here we go. Am I going to be censored on this, or am I going to be able to speak? Hey, Starfire, Heather, Alexis, Larry, Heather. So there's a lot more coming into the chat, but it's only displaying, so I think I'm getting censored on this. I wonder why. Oh no, here we go, 86. 86 makes... 86 in the chat is a Black Swan. Well, Black Swan is 86, Tunnel. Okay, thank you, White Hats. And 85 is Storm. It's getting hot in here. Here we go. Okay. Paul's confirming. 143. Good. Okay. Looks like we're able to go. Looks like we're able to say. So, 270 days into President Trump's presidency. So the 290th day of the year, but 270 days in for President Trump, of President Trump. And 270 comes to a bolt of lightning ascension, or bolt of lightning reversal, or bolt of lightning time machine. So 270. Hey folks, good to see you all. I feel very warm today. It's not been particularly warm, but I feel like a heat wave. It's like I've got heat on me. It's interesting. Heat is 34, DJT 34. It's also cold, 34, but heat is 34. Hey Renee. Good, okay. All right, so here we go. Let's get going on this. So, you know, all week I've been telling you that the Black Swan is about to happen. And I'm telling you in terms of the numbers and my intuition, the guides that I get, that's telling me, it's pointing to everything that we're going to see something major this weekend. A lot of you have been asking, saying, when can you tell us someone? I was like, well, I feel like I can tell you that I believe that it's this weekend. Let's sit back and watch. Let's see what happens. And I don't believe it will kick it on down the road because of saying stuff. I think we're okay. So you can realize that the thing with this as well, so if people are psychic, and I guess my channel is Psych Club, psychic is 83. 83 comes to other important words, which I'll be able to reveal after the show, after the event. Faithful is 83, Nazareth is 83. There you go, what storm, Mr. President. 261, we've got, there you go, Q witness protection, 261, in the chat. So, and there comes a responsibility with it as well. So I don't want to be saying things that I don't. I think most people, when they watch my show, that's one of the things I always get told is people know that I'm authentic and I believe the things that I say. And I think that's one of my qualities, that I'm telling you what I believe and what I see. And so that's what I do. That's what I do on the show. I try to teach you the numbers, and I get to share my insights and my downloads with you. And there's also a responsibility. I'd probably say there's probably about another 80% if we really went into it of things I could say. But I want to give you the best things that I can, but I also want to, sometimes there's things you just feel like you can't say. But I feel I'm okay telling you that I believe that it's this weekend, that there's a major Black Swan happening this weekend. That's what I feel. And I guess the beauty of that is when that event happens, and I don't feel that they're going to change that event. I think they're going to go through with that. Everything's pointing to that in terms of the synchronicities, the numbers, the downloads. All of those things are pointing to it. And the numbers I've mentioned to you yesterday, the numbers I've been mentioning in the last few days, the last week, the last few weeks, the last month or two, and even over the years, will all add up to it. And I'll be able to point that out to you when the event happens. And also, I'll be able to point out if for some reason they change the plans on that. I'll be able to show you my reasoning for saying the things I did. And I would feel a little bit, how would you put it? I don't feel they're going to change it, because it's not just me saying now that they're going to do things like the storm. It's not just me saying that. There's others saying it. There's other big accounts online saying it. Melania pointed to it with the 8-year delta almost for when President Trump said, "What storm, Mr. President?" And we know the event has to happen. The question is where and when and how they do it. And like I said, I know a certain place that I believe there's something going to take place. And that will trigger a number of other events. And I went to the movies again tonight, and I watched a new film called Roof Man with Channing Tatum, and they talk about the storm in that as well. So modern films, old films, they're all talking about the storm. So they're telling us it's literally on the doorstep. And I feel there's probably maybe 25, 30 direct references to the event that I think is about to happen. And so I'll let that take place, and then we can talk about that with the numbers after, if we can get on the airwaves. But there will come a point where we can go through it. But I think they're ramping up to it. And there's other parts as well that I don't know that's going to happen around that event, but there are parts that I do know in terms of where and when. And probably a little bit of what it will reveal. Like I've been saying about sinkholes and dams. I believe this event will reveal sinkholes and dams. I don't actually, Larry. I'm not really a fan of actual popcorn. I like to just go in. I don't buy the trash at the movies. That's my own opinion. I know people like popcorn, but I don't. Occasionally I might have, the luxury popcorn, but not at the movies. I'm not a fan of that. That's one thing. I don't even like the smell of it, interestingly enough. But popcorn in numbers is 97. And 97 is crypto. And 97 is beautiful. And 97 is through. And 97 is Kennedy's. And thank you for asking me about the popcorn, because that ties into this event, this trigger event. So whoever put that question, thank you. That was a good reminder. And it's been in our faces all the time. It will tie into the Mickey Mouse clock. This event will tie into the Mickey Mouse clock. Remember, I've said Interstellar is 153. 153 comes to Galactic Federation, comes to a Black Swan event. Black Swan event is 152, which is my birthday, 152. Bournemouth, 152. Full name, Thomas Sidney Bushnell, 245. Currency revaluation. Hey, Lisa. So it's amazing how our numbers, my numbers and your numbers, I don't know all of your numbers, we're in 125. So 125, time travel, dark to light, John Kennedy, the numbers, 125 is a bang on number as well for the event that's going to occur. So that's another one to note, and we'll be able to go through that. 127, the Ace of Spades, is also another bang on event for what's going to occur. That's a bang on number as well. Lady Hawk, Ladybird, Lady Hawk. You're saying what is going to occur? Well, something major is going to occur, and we're going to see it. And like I said, I believe through all the codes I've been getting. 134 in the chat. Yeah, that's confirming it. We've got 134 is another big number, and we've got 515. So the numbers, the synchronicity. Okay, so if we're in a simulation, in a coded reality, which I believe we are, that's what AI is pointing to. We're made of DNA. DNA, so deoxyribonucleic, comes to 184 in numbers, which comes to the fifth dimension, 184. So we have the fifth dimension within ourselves. But for some reason, something shut down large parts of the power of our DNA. That's why the Q post talks about the DNA, saying they want our DNA. The question is who? Who shut down the power of our DNA? 888 is the magic number. Who shut down our DNA? As we go through the ascension, our DNA is activating again. And that's why these abilities that we have are coming online. As the world was pushed into lockdown in 2020, my numbers gift was activated. I had a few distinct previews of it prior to that, but nothing like what happened in 2020. I went from a little preview of a trailer, 3 trailers effectively, and then boom, and I got an encyclopedia, 3 encyclopedias worth of knowledge within about 3 or 4 weeks, and taught myself the numbers. And I was taught from on high, but I'm also, all of this is self-taught. I don't get it off the computer. I don't get it. It comes to me. I work out the numbers. I remember them, and then I can bring them, as and when I need to share with you guys and girls. So deoxyribonucleic DNA, and then acid is Q, 17, ice 17, cold as ice, cold is 34, heat 34, DJT 34. That's the thing. The universe is balanced. Positive and negative. And my disposition, as you can sense, is positive, 115, intelligence 115, 11.5, November 5th, out of the deal 115. But also in terms of, I guess, the balancing of the equation, negative 83, you add those together, that comes to 198, the resurrection. So when physics is balanced, you can resurrect things. 198 is calm before the storm. 198 is President Trump. 198 is Statue of Liberty. Some people freak out about the Statue of Liberty, and there might have been things with it before, but I believe that that's been turned to good, and it's a good, powerful symbol. I know, in fact, it is, because that's the location of where I got my first set of numbers, across that water from the tip of Battery Park, at the tip of Manhattan, across to Liberty Island, and then the next night over to Staten Island. Some clues. Well, big clues, I believe it's this weekend. Lady Hawk again. Lady Hawk. There you go. Street Hawk. And so once this happened, we'll be able to go through it. You'll see the numbers. And once you see it, there'll be things that I've said in the last few weeks or last month, even today, that will trigger, and you'll go, but I'll be able to point it out. I've got it all in my Twitter codes. I've got it in all my videos, and I better point it out to you. But I've seen with this that there's a respect element to it. And so I'm not the one consciously running this operation throughout the world. But they also want us to be the bridge. They want us to say things that maybe they can't say. And so codes are put in films and things and other places for reasons. And so it's our job to share that with you guys and girls, but also to not go and give the game away. I mean, I believe the thing that they've prepared, they've probably got backups. They've probably got others that they could do. So I don't want to be spoiling anything, but I feel safe in saying to you, I believe something major is happening this weekend. Okay, we've got 180 thumbs up in the chat. 180 is a flip. That's also, 180 also spells out a direct reference to the thing I see happening this weekend. Star Wars Flash Gordon. There you go. Star Wars, yeah, 119. 11.9. Redemption. Remember, temporal pincers. In the Tenet film, says that this whole operation is a temporal pincer. It's tricky to understand because of the level of perspective that we've had in this 3D realm. But as we go through the ascension, our awareness and understanding of these things starts to expand. And that's what it is. And it's like feeling it and letting it come. There are things that we know intuitively, and we can't necessarily always express them, but we know them. And so this is what all this is all about. by the inhabitants. Yeah, yeah. If you mean inhabitants like the rest of us, yeah, I'd go along with that. I think fundamentally, I've said it before, but I believe when Q says find out who you're talking to, if you go far enough back or far enough forward, I think we realize that we've been talking to ourselves. Q is quantum. Deoxyribonucleic Q. Who is Q? It's us. It is also Junior. It is also Diana, MJ, all the rest of them. President Trump, his father, all of them. And it's also us. 230 is an important number. There you go. 230 is the length of the Tenet movie. 737. That was a number that came up on the hostages just recently. Marty McFly's guitar is in the news. I haven't seen that today. Tell me more. Tell me more about that. Who put that comment up? Tell us about Marty McFly's guitar. That's another thing they mentioned actually in the film tonight. They talked about the Twin Pines. I think they said mall. Well, I think they said motel because they were talking about motel. But Twin Pines Mall is in Back to the Future, and then the Twin Pines Hotel or motel is in this film Roofman. Okay. Yeah, Back to the Future musical is playing. See how all these. So there's the I Love the Book of Mormon musical. There's the Back to the Future musical. There's Dirty Dancing, or there was. There's Hamilton 92, the Hamilton watch in Interstellar, Hamilton 92 numbers reverse. All these things, everything. So everything is pointing towards the Great Awakening, because it's this thing we're in. We're all connected. Where we go, when we go, all, and we're all connected, and everything is smiling in on itself now and showing the truth. It's been flipped and it's going through it, and it's like a defrag and then a reconstitution of it's coming back. That's what the Tron movie shows. People criticizing the Tron movie. I actually really liked it. Duran, there you go, Duran. Watch the videos that they've got. Okay, so enjoy, folks. Whatever's coming, enjoy. Remember that Q's told us this is a movie, and so it is. Even reality is a movie. But if you watch a virtual reality film, like if you're in the movies and you've got the headset and the chairs moving around, it can get bumpy. You can feel it. You can feel jerks, and this is a higher level version of that. And so even when things go, you can feel and sense different things, which aren't always pleasant. But then there's a lot of joy to be had as well. But fundamentally, it's a construct that we're in. And that also releases the brakes. It allows us to work within it more freely. It's time of day, I guess so. At some point, yeah. At some point, hit the hype button and subscribe button. We're growing, and I'm on other ones like TikTok. Go on there. But yeah, just this, I believe, like I said, major Black Swan event this weekend, folks. I will be on tomorrow. Yeah, I'll be on tomorrow. Johnny be good. There you go. We've got 270 thumbs up. 270 is the day of President Trump's days today. 270. I believe that the Black Swan will be this weekend. Yeah. I believe it will be this weekend. And I believe it will be a trigger for a whole bunch of other chain reactions, other events. What film? I think I saw a film I saw 2 today, and they talked about a chain reaction. They did. They talked about it in the Keanu Reeves film. He was in the film Chain Reaction, but they talked about it in the film Good Fortune that I saw. I did 2 films back to back tonight. Chain reaction, yeah. They've got something amazing planned, and we'll see what it is. I believe this is going to involve things like a temporal pincer, red team, blue team. I think at some point we're going to start to see that. We're going to start to see things reversing before our eyes. I think they'll blend the lines, the timelines at some point. And that will wake people up. AI has been introduced in the last year, 18 months, and it's connecting the dots for people. It's helping people realize, hang on, reality is not quite what I thought. Because when you can create a whole world within a matter of seconds, you're like, oh, wow. And then it makes you, that's what Q said, you had to show the people. And they have to be shown the dams, they have to be shown the tunnels, they have to be shown what's gone on beneath. And I think they've got an amazing way to trigger that. A temporal pincer. Have a look at the film Tenet. They go into the temporal pincer. Temporal pincer in numbers is 165. Resurrection 165. Other physics 165. Yeah, no need to fear. Hey, Karen. This is the thing we've wanted. We went through Corona. And you're here on the channel, so at some point you must have had an elevation in your consciousness because you're following and watching. Okay, Alexis, a list of films to watch. Okay, all of the Back to the Future films. The first 2 Terminator films. Fight Club. Dirty Dancing. Notting Hill. All of Christopher Nolan's films, so The Prestige, even the following, this first one, but The Prestige, Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises. The Dark Knight Rises is 206 in numbers, which comes to quantum physics 206. Inception 105. Interstellar 153. Dunkirk 88. That's all about the Anons, us going across little boats across the channel to try and bring people back to safety in a war. This is a consciousness war that we've been involved in, a temporal war at many levels of dimension. Tenet 64. All the Nolan films. The Matrix. Even Indiana Jones, that talks about Wuhan, talks about Corona in parts 2 and 3. There's others I've probably forgotten. Excuse me. But watch those films. Watch those films. I think go about your business as usual. That's the thing with this. And I don't want to make people do things they don't need to do, because through experience of this, there's always something. We're in the right direction. I've said it before, it's like it's a goal. We know where the goal is and we can put the ball across the goal line, but there's 100 different positions we could put the ball into the net on. Some films I've seen recently to watch. F1 the movie, I've said I've watched that dozens of times. I'd watch that. You can get that, I think, on a download now on streaming. I would also watch Titanic. Titanic in numbers is 76, which is Ripple. I'd also watch Avatar. So I watched both of the first 2 Avatars in the last couple of weeks. That gives a really good explanation of what's going on. And I'd also, even if you're at the movies this weekend, I would say watch Tron, the new Tron Ares film, because that's talking about AI. It's talking about being able to create. So people have talked about things like replicators, you know, where you can basically instantly create anything that you want, and that's coming in the future. They go into that a bit in the Tron film, so it's actually really visually good and clever how they show it. But also understanding things like computers. Computer is 111. New York is 111. Perfection is 111. Illusion is 111. Hologram is 89. Virus is 89. What does that tell you about the virus? You know, Palladium is 89. Like the raw variety Palladium, the big amphitheatre in London for shows. Dear old Michael Gambon would have performed there a few times. Michael Gambon's very important in this. And it's no coincidence that he came into my life before Corona and did the show I did with him. It's no coincidence that my friend has the same birthday as Michael Gambon. Checkmate. It's no coincidence that Ivanka Marie Trump, 192 in numbers, came into my life serendipitously and activated me with the numbers. There's a great part in Interstellar where there's a character called Tom, there's a character called Joseph. My brother is Joseph. Joseph Cooper is 145, which is red team, blue team, which is the whole thing with Tenet with temporal pincers, one going forward, one coming back, knowing the outcome from the beginning, from the end, working backwards, knowing everything. That's how the White Hats have been doing this. They've been doing other things as well, but that's a major part. 145 is Sonny Hayes, the F1 racing driver in the Brad Pitt film. But there's a beautiful scene in Interstellar, which is 153, a Black Swan event. You've got Brand, 39. That's Amelia, played by Anne Hathaway, who's Catwoman in The Dark Knight Rises, 206. And she talks about the storm. She says there's a storm. And then Batman, Christian Bale, says, oh, you must be looking forward to it. Because she represents us. The Life of Chuck, 132. The Prestige, 132. Princess Diana, 132. 132 is 86 tunnel, 46 drain. I did do the tweet a few weeks ago about sinkholes when I saw the code in The Life of Chuck. And I said, sinkholes, that will make more sense soon. And then 10 days later, there was that massive sinkhole in Thailand. Thailand is 69, checkmate, financial, wealth, financial. Enjoy, popcorn, enjoy. Because all of this is a stage, that's the thing as well. So, and then 10 spells, when you spell the word 10, T-E-N, it comes to 39. When you spell the word team, it comes to 39. So 39 is an important number in all of this. There's a miracle component. Miracle, 61. Casino, 61. You, 61. But there's a scene in Interstellar where there's Tom, the young son, Joseph, the father. He's about to go into space. And then Murph, the daughter. Murph is 76, which is a magic wand. And she's the one decoding all the numbers. The binary numbers. That's a different form of numbers, but she's getting numbers through the bookcase. The Tesseract is 143, Paul Bushnell. 143 is Melania Trump. 143 is Ground Zero. 143 is November 5th. And then John Lithgow, he's playing a character called Donald. And Joseph Cooper, Matthew McConaughey, as he leaves, he says, look after my children, Donald. All these characters, all these actors, all these people, all these numbers, all these synchronicities, all these film scripts are put in place to activate and wake people up because they all weave into each other. All those things I've just mentioned are really important. They all weave into each other. They all weave into each other. And President Trump has said, he said it on the Joe Rogan show, he said he's the great weaver, the dream weaver. Dream weaver is 115, art of the deal 115. He says, and then people see it's a miracle. It is, it's a miracle. The tapestry that has been woven over the last, well, before, but when President Trump came down the escalator, it was happening before, but when it publicly announced then, the tapestry that's been woven is off the charts. There's so many threads to it, but it's going to create this beautiful masterpiece. And people will look back and will be, wow. People will be gobsmacked. People will be awakened. They will be enhanced. They will be activated. Golden escalator. He came down the escalator 5 days before I met Ivanka Trump in Manhattan. Manhattan is 92 numbers. Reverse 92, Hamilton 92. Why did I meet Ivanka Trump? How did that happen? Ivanka Trump 146, Truth Social 146. The Trumpet 146. Ivanka Marie Trump 192. And my friend chat mate, her name is 192. Sorry, not her name. Her birthday's 192. But her name is same as mine, 169, The Great Awakening. Thomas Bushnell 169. I'm not saying her full name to protect her identity. But my friend checkmate, Michael Gambon, Ivanka Trump, my cousin Paul, they're all so important in this, in the timeline for all of this. And like Hugh says, when does it become mathematically impossible that it's no longer a coincidence? Well, when you get thousands of downloads, that's when you know. You only need to have some real big ones, actually, when you realize. But when you get them daily, continually. I mean, I came out of the movies, I put on the radio, and the song Word Up came up, 97. Like Crypto, Popcorn, Cameo, 134. Well, Word Up, Cameo, 134. So, and then there was another song that came on as well that confirmed what was about to happen. So it's all coming together, folks. It's all coming together. Yes, I do as well. I love Trump personally as well. Hey, Matthew. That's it. Trust the plan. That's it. We trust the plan. We trust the plan. I was lucky. I got told independently from above that the plan was great. Hey, Melissa. Oh, wonderful. Thank you so much for your $100 super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's very generous. I appreciate it. We're on target, folks. We're on target. And so let's sit back. Let's enjoy. Like I said, I believe that we're going to see something huge this weekend. And the numbers will point it out. And I'll be able to show that to you afterwards. But a lot of you will pick up on it as it's happening. And I'll be able to point that out to you. We've got 1,105 in the chat. Now 100, I was going to say 115. Now we've got 1117. Have you noticed as well how it's still not fully where it was, but have you noticed how mine and other channels are coming back to life? They're getting resurrected. There's a reason for that. The pause is now off and we're getting ready for the next thing, which is the storm, which will, in my opinion, will be precipitated by a Black Swan event. And then we'll be going into the storm. Black Swan, 444. Okay. Yeah, 444, very important number. 44, very important number. 44 is faith, hope, mask, anon. If you do faith plus hope, 44 comes to 88, which is Trump. If you do Trump numbers, 92. Reverse 92. Numbers 92. Manhattan 92. Hamilton 92. I watched that musical show a few weeks ago about that on the cinema. In the cinema. Trump numbers comes to 180. A 180 flip. We've got 440 likes. There you go. We've got 11.4. 11 times 4 is 44. We've got all the 44s here. I'll have to screenshot this one. Hang on. We've got all the 1s and 4s right now. So it's confirming. This is the thing. It's confirming what we're talking about. And that's the beauty of all this. It's confirming what things are to come. That's the beauty of it, you know. So amazing. Thanks, Melissa, again. Thank you for that. In my links, if anyone wants to, I do have a PayPal link. If you want to send something, you can. And I'll give you a shout out on the show. But yeah, thanks, Melissa. That was wonderful. Thank you. So, Melissa, what was your last name? Melissa, I know, comes to 78 in numbers, which comes to October. So that's an on point. That's an on point super chat you sent. Hi from North Carolina. Melissa Harper. Thank you. Harper. So what would that be, everyone? Let's do H-A-R-P-E-R. So H-A. So 9 plus 18. That'll be 27. And then 37. 43, 48, 66. October event. Check that, will you, folks? I'm a bit tired in my head, but calculate that. Is Harper 66? Is that correct? Did I do that one right? Someone can work that one out. I know I've got some super dupers there with me. Is Harper H-A-R-P-E-R? Does that come to 66 in numbers? Yes, okay. So Melissa Harper, that comes to October event. There you go. There you go. Christ consciousness. What's Donald's father's middle name? Christ. And we were talking about 1s and 44s. So we still got that up here on the counter. That would be 144, the frequency. So Melissa Harper. Do you have a middle name, Melissa? And what's your date of birth? Do you have a middle name, and what's your date of birth, Melissa? Put it up if you would. Hey Mariano, good to see you. Freedom is 66. Woman is 66. Happy is 66. King Arthur. Arthur is 86, which is Tunnel, which is Pyramid, which is Highlander. March 21st, 1978. Lynn. Okay. So Lynn. So L-Y. So 12, 17, 37, 41, 51. What did I get to? What did I get to? LY, so 12, 37, 47, 51, 55, 65. Okay, 65. So 144, 149, plus 60, 209. Empire State Building. There's something to do with the Empire State Building. I don't know if it's this weekend with the Empire State Building, but something, when all this happens, there's something to do with the Empire State Building as well. That was shown in the Thunderbirds movie that they re-released recently. So there's a fox. There's a fox just walked past. Fox is 45 in numbers, 45th president. Orange fox would be 105. which is Interstellar, which is Inception, which is Charlie Kirk. Remember I said Charlie Kirk is also Two-Face. That sounds a bit rough, but he's Harvey Dent, the Harvey Dent act, the Charlie Kirk act. Yeah, it's coming in, the Thunderbirds. Anyway, folks, I'm going to see you tomorrow, and God bless you all. I had my radiation scaler with me in the movie. I like to put it to a radiation setting when I'm in the cinema with the other normal folk. It keeps me clean, keeps me grounded. So I had that. And there's the links below. Anyway, I will see you tomorrow, folks. Enjoy the weekend. We're going to have a great weekend. And who knows? We may have to batten down the hatches. Maybe not, but something I believe is coming. There's a massive that's going to change everything. It's going to flip the script. It's going to trigger. It's going to be a chain reaction. It's going to flip and trigger all manner of things. And it's been told to us in all the things I've been telling you. And it will make sense when it occurs. God bless you. Lots of love. You take care.